Hi everyone, in this session we want to add the loot system to our game. When the enemy dies, it randomly drops random objects with random rarity. So here we also want to add the item rarity. So let's go and write that to be public enum um, item rarity. You can give whatever rarity that you want. Here is just an example. It would be simple, epic, and legendary. And then you want to add it here. It would be public, item rarity, item rarity, and rarity. Now in the inventory manager, you want to have another method. Okay, we will call it from the enemy health when they die, but we want to have the methods itself here in the inventory manager, so they are all in the same place. And we have the public items, get random loots. So here we want to set a chance to say float roll would be equal to um, random, that's value. So give us a random value. It gives a value between 0 and 1. So 0.6 means that there is a 60% that, for example, a simple looks would be dropped. And here is the item rarity. Item um, rarity selected rarity. Now, if roll um, it is less than this number, which means 60% chance, 60% chance that it drops an item, so it would be considered selected rarity item rarity dot symbol. Else, if the roll is less than, for example, less than, for example, 90, it means 30% chance. For example, if I say and, the roll would be more or equal to this number here. But if the first one is true, it wouldn't go there. So you don't need to say, okay, and roll is more than that. So that is completely fine to leave it like this. Um, then else is like, okay, as it is one line, you can delete that. But for readability, I just write it down. And so selected rarity would be item rarity dot epic, and else it would be item um, uh, yes, rarity dot legendary. It means that it has 10% chance. So means that, okay, so let me remove them. Okay, now we want to get all the items that we have in the resource folder. So items, all items. Okay, it is more than one item, so say that, and then resources that load all. So what do we want beyond the items? And then we want the item. So if you go here, Uh, this is that items, and these are the items. Oh, okay. Let's first complete this one, and then we go to that part because it doesn't load and there is an error. Okay, temporarily I comment that so that we can save, and this is applied here. Resources, items, and we have the rarity here. So let's see what was that. So this one, um, I make it simple, epic, um, simple, legendary, and for the shield, I make it epic and legendary. Now let's go back to this code. Okay, call all of the items. Now we should have a list that stores all the items of that rarity. For example, if you have five um, simple item, it can hold all those simple items through all the items that we have. Okay, so because all the items are both, I mean, the simple, epic, and legendary. But we only want, for example, the simple one if the chance is 60%. If it is 30%, that we want to have a list that stores all the epic items. So here we have a list of items. For example, I say filtered and new list items. Now we have the for each loop item in all items. We search in all of them, so we could add, for example, the epic one into this list. So we have a condition here, the item that's rarity is equal to selected rarity. Then we want that it would be added to that list. Let's add the item. So it wants item, so it has to return the item. So here we say if um, filter that counts is, for example, we could say equal to 0. It means that we don't have any item related to that. For example, if we don't have any simple item, then it would return null. But if there are anything, then it would return the filtered. So we say random, that's range. So yeah, it would be between 0 and the counts that you have. For example, we have 5 epic items. Here it is epic, and we added all the epic items here in the list. So return, sorry, it would be this slide. Okay, so it would return. Okay, we have what I was saying was we have 5 epic item, and it has been added here, and it randomly selects one of those items and return only that one. But imagine that you want, so it depends on your choice. If you want to say, okay, I want that if the enemy dies, it return between 1 and 3 items. Yes, we can also do that. So let me comment it. Here is, oh, what is this? Int loot count. It would be random, that range. between 0 and, for example, 3. It means that it will return uh, 1 or 3 loop. I'm sorry, it means that it wouldn't even return anything or 2 loops. So let me make it something that would actually drop something. So it would be a number between 1 and 3. 1, 2, 3 loops, not the 4 itself. But if you want, okay, it drops nothing. It's, for example, if you kill an enemy, it might drop nothing that you can make it 0. But we want that, okay, give the players hope. So always be generous and give at least 1 loot. Now remember that then it should be a list if you want to use that approach, that it returns more than 1 item. So yeah, you have this, and then you make a list and say, okay, list of items. It would be dropped, loot, and you can select tab, so it would automatically fills that. And then here we have for this, right 4, and then double tap. It would be loot count. Loot count. Okay, then we want that those things would be added to list, and then return this one as it one that's something we returned. So we check that if filtered that count equal to 0, then break and do not continue. That's 4. Else we select the random index, the random dot range. Yes, we select the, for example, the epic items that we would have an index of that for each time that it iterate through this for loop. Then the drop loot that add, yes, it would be the index would be added here. If 2 times it goes, if you give me 2, it goes 2 times, and 2 random index of that epic item or simple item is added here. So we have the list here, and here we have return dropped loot. And if you want to case that something doesn't repeat and a repetitive item wouldn't be picked up, would be dropped, then you can say, okay, drop item does remove the index. So you have unique items dropped. But okay, imagine that we have this. And now this doesn't give any error because it would return the items. Now how to call that? So we met this. We have to go to where the enemy dies, which is enemy health, and then when it dies, it would give the loot. So that is the enemy health. We could add it here. Before it is destroyed, it add that. So that is the drop loot. And so we want the item. So these items drop loot would be equal to, we want to call this one as, that it is singleton, so we can say inventory manager, that instance. Now we have the access to its functions that are public. Okay, so it was the, what was the name? Get random loot. So that would be get random loot. Okay. For example, it might gives you, this is the list. List of items. Okay. For example, it gives one loot, two loots, or three loots, as we have designed it before. Now here is say if dropped loot is not null. Okay, each of them that it drops, it should be instantiated here on the ground. For each, it is the item drop items in this one. Instantiate what? The prefab of that. So that would be item that's prefab, item prefab, where you can say, okay, transform that position of the enemy, and quaternion, that's identity. You can give it a y value as well. So it would instantiate it, and let's check it out, and then we will return. So here it is, and let me move my elf here. What's the loot?
You call that a weapon? I've seen sharper spoons. No, my loot.
So the loot. No, that's because this is the prefab. So we have two options. Okay, when for example, the loot that has been dropped, as it is only prefab, not this prefab. This is just for grounded thing. But the prefab that it falls is just a simple another prefab that is this. It drops just this. So we can add this, whatever that they have. For example, pickup or pickup script or the collider, and then we can use that when it is instantiated. Say, where is that? Yeah. So when it's instantiated, we give the pickup code and also the collider. But I give you another options, which I think is better, is that you go to your scripts, inventory. Here we have it here. Here you add the public game object, grounded prefab. This is a prefab that's we previously put it on the ground that has um, already has a pickup effect, pickup script, collider, and also this shiny thing. So it's better that we use that. So but we have to go to the. Did I save that? So we go to here on the grounded prayer. For example, for helmet one, it is so. So I give that to this, which is the helmet. And we do that one by one. Okay, I give this value to all of them. And then in your code, where the enemy died, instead of item prefab, we have the grounded prefab. So let's check that, and then we may want to give it a y value as well, but let's try it here.
You call that a weapon? I've seen sharper spoons. No, my loot.
Yeah, and they're all. You see that I won L, and the colors are mixed, so new colors. Man. So there's a helmet and the sword. Let me remove all of them. I will do this. Okay, so I think that it's better that there's some space in there. Here, I want to give one F in x-axis. So, say float. You can give it in different direction also, but as an example, I give it only to x-axis. And here, so I remove the for each loop, and then I use a for loop. Is dropped let's count. Okay, then it would be vector 3 spawn pose. The position of the loop is that okay, transform that position and plus new vector 3. For the x, we have okay the space in I. So that is exactly this. And then 0, 0. Or you can give it a, what was good, the y value. Okay, and here we instantiate it. Drop load I in the spawn position. And for the z, you can say, okay, random, let's range. Um, I don't know, just this one.
You call that a weapon? I've seen sharper
My
spoons.
loot!
So there are two things. There were three, but I picked up that, I think. So I kill a lot of them and see if I can get a legendary item. Okay, now we have the, I think, what was the white? I don't remember. I think we have four colors. No, oh, okay, I don't know. Whatever was that, so we have different things. So it was epic, I think. Uh, and the legendary and red one, I think they have four classes. I thought that we have three. So yeah, this is working properly. So for testing, I go to inventory manager and 60%, 5, 6. So these are the items that, yeah, more. I think this legendary item also was picked up. You can also change the UI according to that. For that, we go to show items at the inventory manager. Before the delete button, we can use this switch, which is according to the item, that's Rarity, case, item Rarity, that's simple, icon, dot color is equal to, I don't remember, it was green, I think, green and then break. Okay, so you can say new color. Um, and we can directly give, I've searched and this is that. This is kind of a violet. So we have this thing, if you have more item, we can use more. So let's go and see that in the game and or inventory. So this is very ugly. The thing is that you can make another, you can change the background or make another component, the image below these icons and change that directly. But yeah, I just wanted to say that it is possible. Um, so instead of, yeah, icon, go and make another component image beneath that one, so it wouldn't be icon directly. But you get the idea. But as I don't like that, so just comment it. I don't want to spend time on that, so yeah. So that's it for today.